Boker Tov, the last two Pesukim of the 10th Perek of Mishlei. Perek Yud Pasuk Lamed Aleph. Pi Tzadik Yanuv Chochma. This Perek talked a lot about the Tzadik versus the Rasha. The mouth of the Tzadik bursts forth with wisdom. Ulshon tapuchot tikaret. But the tongue that speaks opposite, sometimes yes, sometimes no, sometimes this way, sometimes that way, everything to contradictions, tikaret, will be cut off. So the Gaon of Vilna over here says that the tzaddik, his mouth is like a ma'ayan, is like a wellspring, always chokhmah, always wisdom, and people want to hear from him, people want to learn from him, always good things coming out of his mouth. But the opposite is someone that's always contradictory. People are going to recognize what now he says this, one day he says that, and they're going to see this guy's something's off with him, and he'll get cut off. Meaning he'll also get cut off by the people around him. No one's going to want to talk to him. No one's going to be around this person. He's always saying lies, always saying opposites. People are going to want to stay away. The last pasuk, Sifte Tzadik Yedeun Ratzon. The lips of the Tzadik, they know the will. This is referring to the will of Hashem and the will of other people. They know what other people want. We'll see what this means. Upi Reshaim Tapuchot. And again, the mouth of the Reshaim always says opposites. So here, the Gaon of Vilna explains that the tzaddik, he knows the ratzon of Hashem, and he knows the ratzon of other people. Meaning, if there's a time that a tzaddik, he, let's say, hurt someone's feelings, or if there is that time, he'll know that he did hurt that person's feelings, and he'll know what to do to go and make up. As the Chachamim say, that at times you even have to take 3 people with you and ask for forgiveness, and if he doesn't answer the first time, you keep on going back. The tzaddik is that type of person. It's going to go and ask for forgiveness and do what he needs to do in order to properly, this guy, his ratzon, he knows his ratzon, I know his will, I know what's going on inside, and it hurts him, there's a difficulty there, accidentally it caused him something, they're going to want to try ironing it out. It comes to my mind a story, I think it's a little bit of a famous story, probably mentioned it before, but it's an unbelievable story. The Stifler Gaon, the father of Chaim Kanievsky, Zecher Tzadik Livracha, one time tells the Shamash that this Shabbat, let's go pray at the shul. And he says, it's a little bit far, a 15-minute walk. You're an elderly man. He said, no, please, let's go. And there's a bar mitzvah there, I have to go. Okay, they go to this bar mitzvah, and everybody's so shocked. The Gaon, the Gadol Ador is here. Fine. And after he says, can I please say a few words? And he says, of course. So he says a few words, and he says, you're probably wondering, what am I doing here? An elderly man, it took me a long time to get here, etc. He says, this bar mitzvah, I was waiting for this boy to be bar mitzvah. Because a few years ago, he was 7, 8 years old, he was making some trouble in shul, and I told him off, and I screamed at him a little bit. I think it was a little bit too hard, and he got hurt. And someone who's a kid, he can't accept my mechilah. I want to wait till he becomes a gadol, till he's bar mitzvah, so then I can ask him properly for forgiveness. Unbelievable. So in front of everybody, he asked the bar mitzvah boy for forgiveness. Unbelievable. And then the last part of the pasuk, Upi Reshaim Tapuchot, the mouth of the Reshaim, again, is always opposites. That now, because we're talking about knowing if you slighted someone, knowing the will of someone, even if they say sorry, sometimes it's echad b'peh, echad b'lev. It's a sorry in their mouth, but are they really sorry in their heart? Unfortunately, sometimes they speak opposite. So yeah, I'm sorry. And then really they're going to carry on doing it or whatever it is. And here the Gaon of Vilna says that the tzaddik is even in a place where the tzaddik could get away with echad b'peh v'echad b'lev, even if he could get away with saying one thing in his mouth with something else in his heart, that tzaddik doesn't do that, and he keeps his heart and his mouth the same. But the Rasha, even when he doesn't need to say one thing in his heart and one thing in his mouth, he does anyways, unfortunately, the Rasha. And lastly, is that tzaddik in our pasuk is in singular. Sifte tzaddik, doesn't say tzaddikim, it's tzaddik. It says upi reshaim, the mouth of the reshaim, not Rasha. Why is it that the tzaddik is singular in our pasuk and the Rasha is in plural? And he says that a tzaddik, even when he's alone, he's a tzaddik. That's a true tzaddik. When he's alone, no one knows. He's by himself. He's a tzaddik. The Rasha, he explains as follows. Even if there's Reshaim, say among Reshaim, meaning they know, I'm a Rasha, you're a Rasha. Let's say we slighted each other. So don't lie to each other. We know, I know your game, you know my game. let's just be honest with each other this time. I'm sorry, let's just be honest. No, even among Reshaim, they still are Reshaim. They're still going to try to trick each other. I know your game, you know my game, we're both Reshaim. No, nevertheless, they're still going to try to slight each other, still going to say contradictions, still going to have one thing in their mouth, one thing in their heart. Unfortunately, that's the ways of Reshaim. May we always go in the ways of Tzadikim, Be'ezrat Hashem. So with the completion of the 10th Perek, Be'ezrat Hashem, when I get back, we're going to continue with Megillat Echa. We're not Be'ezrat Hashem in Yerushalayim with the Bet HaMikdash. We still have to mourn for 3 weeks, and for Tisha B'Av, we're going to be learning the rest of Echa where we left off. And in the morning halachot, we'll get to the halachot of Tisha B'Av, Be'ezrat Hashem. Baruch Adonai Le'olam. Amen ve'amen. Rabbi Yochanan Yemen HaKasha Amar HaKadosh Baruch Hu לזכות את ישראל לפי חיבה להם תורה מצווה שנאמר אדוני חפץ למען צדקו יגדיל תורה וידיר